Welcome, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're listening to this podcast, or maybe even watching the video a couple of weeks after the podcast, because if you want to hear us early, then you become a patron, and if you don't want to hear us early but want to see us, you can see us on YouTube, but it's going to take a while. Today we're back playing music from a Darkened Room. Together with me is Victoria. She's playing Alice Baker, the unsinkable Alice Baker. And we are still trying to find out what the story is behind 1206 Spooner, a house with a twist.
It has a creep, not a twist. It's a house with a creep.
Possibly, maybe both.
Maybe both, yeah.
And now you even have a helper. You've got Sergeant Updike, a police sergeant who is there with you, and dear Dottie. And you've also got a photographer there with you who has been taking pictures of the master bedroom where a dear and I keep getting his name wrong. Arthur killed himself. Arthur Donnelly killed himself, allegedly killed himself, using a straight razor and cutting his own throat. And according to Milner Quimby, the coroner, did so without even pausing or hesitating once, which in his opinion is highly unusual. You've come back and investigated the master bedroom, and looking at the situation, looking at the place of the crime, maybe not, you have come to realize that the blood spatter is such that it looks like someone was standing in front of Arthur when his throat was slit, because there is the silhouette of a person outlined by the blood spatter against one of the very, very many full-length mirrors in the bedroom. It's really eerie, because apparently there was no one else there in the house. And now you are standing in front of the bathroom door in the master bedroom. And who is going to open the door?
Sadly, probably Alice, because she's curious enough. Because so far, now that the sergeant is here and the officer that's taking the pictures, nothing weird happened so far, right? Since we entered the house, at least not that I can't remember. There happened a lot of weird stuff beforehand, but now we entered, we came in there, we took the picture, he found and saw what I saw. So Alice is quite. So she will open the door to the bathroom, and I dearly hope that the sergeant is close by.
Well, he's right behind you, obviously. But you are the heroine, so you get to open the door. You open the door, and it's a bathroom. It's tiled. It's got a sink. It's got a mirror above the sink. It's got a toilet. It's got a bathtub. And as you enter, you can hear the water running in the bathtub. And it sounds like, you know, how it sounds when the bath is half drawn already, and then more water is put in, so it's like water hitting water. It's not water hitting the enamel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's of course a curtain around, so you can't really see if there's anything in the bathtub.
Okay, before she would. So, just looking at the bathtub, it's not that water is already running over the edge to the floor. Okay, so she has at least a few minutes, seconds, however, to think about it. She would first of all still look around. Does she see like blood stains or anything? Like someone that was bloody was in here to clean up?
That's a very good question. And no, you can't see any blood.
Okay. Did the room... Does it have a window outside?
Which room? The master bedroom or the?
No, the
Let me
bathroom.
just bring up the. Let me just bring up the.
Because I think it was at least at the wall to the outside, but I'm not sure if it had a window.
Here we are. So,
it has a window.
It does have a window over here, yeah. And there's also a closet to your right. So basically the bathtub is probably here. And there is the sink, there is a window.
And a freaking closet again.
The toilet is probably back here, and this is the walk-in closet.
I think the closet scares her even more than the bath that is running because,
yeah, because the last time you tried a closet, that was really weird, wasn't it? Yeah.
Suddenly
the water stops and you can hear a creaking noise, as if somebody's closing the taps.
Okay, that is the moment where she probably instinctively goes a step back and bumps into the sergeant, probably behind her.
Stability roll. Sanity roll, sorry.
Sanity, okay. Stability on if she can stand up sounds much more fun, don't you think? No, forget it.
Well, Dottie's fine. Dottie may not even have heard it because she's standing 2 people behind you.
Close, but I made it.
Okay, good.
I rolled a 43 and I have 49 sanity left, so I made it. Everything good. Because she actually wanted to go towards the window just to open up maybe, to get some fresh air in and then carefully look, but now she's like probably whispering, Sergeant, there might be someone in the bathtub. Did you hear that?
Let's see if he heard anything.
Oh god, not that he's going mental.
Didn't hear a thing.
Thank goodness. So there was water running and now it stopped as if someone closed the tap.
But who would run a bath and who would be closing the tap? There is just us.
I can't see, there's the curtain. Should we give it a go, knowing that it might be a ghost thingy again? Maybe someone drowned in a bath.
So how about you go and open the curtain, Ms. Baker?
As long as you promise to stand here and be ready if there's a real living person in there that wants to grab me.
Sure, no problem at all. He draws his gun.
By now, they are talking so loud that whoever would be in the bathtub would know what will come. So she will carefully tiptoe towards the bathtub and with just a quick motion will draw the curtain.
You draw
ready
the curtain?
To jump back if she sees anything in the bathtub.
The bathtub contains clear water.
Okay.
However, as you draw back the curtain, the bathtub begins to drain.
Okay.
And you can see the water swirling where the plug should be, but there wasn't a plug, or if there was, then it's no longer visible, and also who would have pulled it. And as the water is slowly draining, you see that it's basically flowing around a shape. It's like there is a small child in the water, and the water is draining away from it.
It will definitely...
Please make a sanity roll.
Another sanity roll. Definitely a high-pitched scream. So maybe the sergeant at least gets curious on what I'm seeing, because I guess since he's standing far behind, he probably can't see that detail.
Let's see if you startled him with your scream. Where is his... Yeah, he passes.
Okay, I failed my sanity check miserably, so whatever happens.
You didn't startle Dottie either, but she's probably too hungover, because we all know that in Lovecraft country, alcohol actually helps. Well, lose a 1d4 sanity for me, please.
See, I'm not well prepared. D4. Okay. Let's use that one. Oh, thank goodness, that's a 2.
Good.
She would just probably point and stutter, like, child, shape, what, how? Can't you see it, Sergeant?
Dottie can hear what she's saying. She's like, what's that, ma'am?
There seems to be a ghost child into this bathtub.
What
She will probably just yell at the sergeant that he should just step right next to her and look. Not sure if he would.
He steps next to you and he looks and he sees nothing. Because the water has now drained completely from the tub.
I swear there was water in there. You heard it drain, right? There was water draining out of the bathtub.
Yeah.
I did not pull the plug. Something pulled the plug, and as the water was draining, you saw it running around. A figure, child size-ish. You should definitely look into if a child died in this house, in the bath. And just to get it over with, she will turn around and walk towards the closet and open or try, depending on, to open the door.
You want to open the door to the walk-in closet. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, let's get it over with. This is getting crazy enough. I just want to get it out of the
you
system.
open the door, and it is a walk-in closet, but it does have hooks, so probably you could have put, your bathrobe in there. There are also some shelves for
Towels and so on.
Towels and stuff. But there's also a shelf with women's cosmetics.
Not surprising, since a woman lived here and died here, as we learned. Dottie, dear, do you maybe want to add something to the list for Mr. Smythe, just to let him know that there's still some stuff in the master bathroom closet?
Certainly, ma'am. And she comes in with her pen, pencil, and her book. She has a notebook, as we know, and she starts making... she really looks at every single of these cosmetics items, and she makes perfect notes, and, and this is only half full, and... So, yeah, she makes notes.
I'm waiting for the second that we get yelling from the other officer that is still taking pictures. That something weird is happening there. She will just turn around. Well, the house is definitely haunted, but no blood as it seems, Sergeant, right? So whoever cleaned themselves up after the mess over there, she'll point to the bedroom, they at least cleaned up after themselves?
Or maybe they didn't clean themselves up in here. But, I'd wager they would have left some form of... Maybe they climbed through one of the windows, because I doubt that they would have managed to come in here, clean themselves up, leave no... Well, I guess they could have left no trace if they cleaned up after themselves, but that would have taken some time, and I suppose they would have had the time, but then again, why bother? They, if this was a... If this was a pre-planned murder, then the big question is why him? If this was a killing because somebody was trying to rob the place and he ran into Mr. Donnelly, he would probably not have used a straight razor, because most people don't carry one unless they really want to kill someone. If they are robbers, then they usually aren't armed. But if they are, then they would probably have a pistol, because that's all a big mess.
But they didn't steal anything.
Well, we don't know.
Well, at least the inventory list.
Yeah, the inventory probably tallies, but if there was anything in the master bedroom which he didn't really write down anything about yet, because we know from the manifest that there was nothing inventoried for this part of the house, they could well have taken something. But then again, how did they escape and leave no trace? Because they would have left some footprints or something somewhere, or they would have touched a door handle, or they would have done this, that, and the other. So it would have taken them a lot of work to just clean up after themselves.
Very true. From the outside and the back, you can't see if someone got out because there is
Indeed.
basically
Which is why I
no
think
flower beds.
we should check the windows in the master bedroom. Maybe they climbed out there. So he checks the window in the bathroom.
Okay.
There is nothing there.
Then maybe the master bedroom windows.
Mm-hmm. So do you go outside and check the bedroom windows?
Honestly, Alice is more. I need to change my name. I'm irritated by myself because I'm still called like a game name from another game. I even wrote down the wrong name in my notes.
Oh, am I again? No, it's the house affecting you. It's
yeah. I'm getting insane. Slowly sanity is draining. I think she would by now try her luck again with the darn utility closet that did not open last time.
The one over here.
The one right below the master bedroom. That closet. Yeah, exactly that one. Because last time she couldn't open it, and now she's just like, this is just like around the corner. Maybe they slipped out through that. You never know in old houses if they're like secret doors or whatever. So she will let the window checking. She will leave to the officials, but she would go to the closet door with.
Step out into the master bedroom.
Yeah.
You walk around the bed, the four-poster bed, and you see no one. You see the camera, but you don't see anyone.
The sergeant went outside to look at the...
Well, he's inside. He's behind you looking at these two windows.
Okay, so the sergeant is still there.
Yeah.
And Dottie is still in the bathroom, probably making inventory of what is in the closet.
Possibly. That's where you left her.
But basically the police guy that took the pictures seems to be...
He's not here.
But the camera is still there.
Camera's still there.
Sergeant, did you
yes.
allow your officer to go somewhere else without his equipment?
I don't think he would, because
I don't know his name, but maybe we should check where she would step out of the bedroom, basically, to look around the corner towards breakfast kitchen again, because that is...
you see nothing. It's empty and it's dark. No lights.
He's not in the kitchen, sir. Sergeant,
You hear a loud, booming voice from the sergeant shouting, "Clark! Where are you?" And he listens. No reply. "Clark! Hey, Clark, this isn't funny. Come back." And he follows you out, and he basically looks around and he says, "Okay, I'm going to check the garage." He goes over to the garage, opens the door. The garage is as you left it, so it's while it isn't completely empty, it's quite simple to see stuff. He walks around in it, and then he says, and then you hear a thud, and then he says, "What the heck?" And he comes back and he says, "Well, Clark isn't in the garage, but I could have sworn that there was something on the floor and I didn't see it and I fell over it. I have no idea what it was, but there was something there."
It's invisible. I had the same.
It's invisible? You're saying this very lightly, as if you were talking about the weather. It's invisible?
I stumbled over something in the garage as well, and afterwards I smelled some gas. Although there is no gas in the garage because the gas, like bottles, containers, are all empty. There can't be gas in there. Didn't you already feel the house is a bit weird? We've seen things.
Yeah, but I mean, this is getting.
Alice
Suddenly
will.
hear a scream from behind you.
Female, male.
Female.
Dottie.
No answer.
She will run back through the
And
master
you run
bedroom
into the master bedroom, and in front of one of the mirrors between the two windows, you see her handbag lying on the floor and her pencil and her notebook.
Sergeant.
And he comes running after you. Yes, what is it now?
She would just point at the stuff at the floor. Not
Did
to
he climb
be.
out of the window? And he runs to the windows and he's like, no, they're fastened shut.
She will just tap him on the shoulder. Just to humor me. Would you kindly just hold on to my belt? She will just point at the back of her belt. She's having trousers on today.
Of course.
Again, practical clothing. So just to make sure, because she will just point at the mirror. I want to see. So she would step in front of basically the mirror where Dottie's stuff is lying and just put the hand against the mirror.
You approach the mirror
Yeah.
with your hand
Yeah.
and you expect to feel the surface, but you don't. Your hand plunges right through it as if it was plunging through some swirling mist, and suddenly you are yanked into the mirror. So now we need to see if this person is stronger than the person holding on to you.
I hope the person holding onto me in the back is stronger than the one pulling.
That's
in
not
front.
too bad. That's not too bad at all.
Come on, Sergeant.
And that is so the sergeant is holding on, but it's like you feel. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but if you've ever gone swimming in an alpine lake, this feeling of total coldness that you plunge into, that seeps into your body like a shock and makes your heart stand still for just the fraction of a second. This is exactly what you're feeling. And now you need to give me a sanity roll.
Without problems.
Okay, you only take 2 points of sanity loss.
Okay.
And please roll Constitution.
Okay. Yeah, without problem. 17 is...
Okay, cool. You are suspended in the void. You are surrounded by some grey kind of mirror mist, because it is mist, but you're seeing your own reflection. And it's swirling around you, so it's like when you look into one of those distorting mirrors, so you're kind of moving, and the image that you see of yourself is moving, and it is ice cold, and you are also, when you look down, you realize you're not standing, you seem to be floating.
And so the sergeant let go of me, basically. Had to let go.
Yeah. No, sorry. He's holding on to you, but you can see
he's
his
holding
hand.
on. Okay.
When you turn around and you look at his hand, you see that his hand is slowly freezing over, so it's getting frosted with the cold. So we'll see how he is doing. He's still holding on.
I think she would just look around, just to see if she can see anything next to the swirling everything around her. And then she would try to basically grab his, like, hand arm and try to get out again.
Okay, so you need to make a swim roll to move in here.
A swim roll? I'd never thought I would need to use swim in any Cthulhu game. That's amazing.
Well,
Thank goodness, that is a nice roll. That is still... She will spend 4 luck and then just make it.
okay, very good. So please make a
4.
constitution save. Make a constitution roll. We're not playing D&D.
Nope. An 88
Okay.
is definitely big no.
Then I get to roll. Ha ha. Or roll a d4 for me, please.
That's a 3.
Okay, you take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And you actually manage to make it to... So he pulls you, you're basically paddling forward, and you fall onto the ground quite unceremoniously because somehow you have breached the barrier and you're lying on the floor in front of him. And he's like, what the hell just happened?
Take a deep breath and we'll probably just like, thank you.
He's let go of you and he starts touching the mirror, but nothing happens. It's just his hand against the mirror.
Okay. She would just stare at him just touching the mirror, so completely differently than what was for her. Why is it not working? Well, it's good that it's not working for you. Please be careful, because I can't pull you back if they drag you in.
Who are they? Who was
Or
in
it.
there?
Something pulled me in there. It was freezing freaking cold.
And he basically starts playing around with the frame of the mirror, and he's basically touching it and kind of like, as if he's looking for some kind of mechanism. He's like, this is a door. I know it has to be a door because this isn't true. This isn't real.
Should we please... Did you see anything that could be like a rope or anything for us? Did you see something in the garage like that?
A rope. Make a luck roll.
Okay. Oh god, luck. Where's my luck stat? Nope. 52 is definitely too high for luck.
There is no rope in the garage.
I don't think they would mind. She would wonder... I'm not sure if in the master bedroom she would be scared to touch anything, but she would... Oh, would she wander off? It was dark in the other rooms, right? We need at least curtain or anything like that, Sergeant.
Well, there is a curtain in the breakfast nook.
Then let's try to get that. Anything that we can tie us to when we try to get in there, because when you're
Want
pulled...
to go back in there?
The others must be in there. At least Dottie. I'm definitely sure she's in there. She would not run off. The window was closed and she would for sure not leave her handbag or her notes. And honestly, your Clark Sergeant picture taker, he would not run off without saying a word. And he was there.
You're saying that they're in the mirror?
I was in the mirror, yes. The only thing, they had nothing to hold on to, so they probably got dragged in further. I didn't see anything in there. It was just like swirly. The only thing I could see and feel was your hand still holding on to me.
Okay, I mean, this sounds like crazy talk, but hey. So he runs outside and he comes back with, you hear a yanking sound and some some metal banging on the floor, and he comes back with the curtain, and he's basically tearing it into strips of linen, and then he's tying them together. So, and you want, but I mean, how are you going to get in there? And he keeps touching the mirror, and it doesn't do anything. It's just there.
She will wait until there is like a long strip there, and she would then just maybe what looks stable, where we could tie it. The bed probably looks quite weighty, right?
Yeah, it's heavy. It's a 4-poster bed.
Okay, so she would herself, not that the sergeant so far didn't do a good job, but she would herself make like extra knots and would tie one end towards the bed with 2 additional knots just to be safe and sound. It doesn't need to look pretty, it just needs to function and hold up. Mm-hmm. And then she would give a bit of room, would give him the piece of fabric, and would tie the rest then around her waist. Just hold on and pull me out if I yank at the line, basically. Mm-hmm. And she would try to touch the mirror again and see what happens.
You go through.
Okay.
You have the same sensation, your hand is starting to freeze over.
She would make sure that the line out to outside basically is still attached to her. She would keep it by her side, that she can have a grip on it, not that something is losing
and again,
it or so.
You fall forward into the mirror,
Yeah.
You get yanked into it by something, and you have the same sensation as before. Please make a constitution roll.
Okay. Oh god. Yeah, that's a 9. So Constitution is fine. She is embraced. She knows what will come, so she's prepared this time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She will try to move on, and I'm not sure if she is able to call out, but she will try to call out for Dottie.
Well, first of all, if you want to move, then you will have to swim.
Yeah, she will swim.
Make a swim roll.
And she will try to get in the opposite direction to basically where the rest of the line, I would just say line, but
so you're just
go
basically
back.
moving away from the
Yeah.
mirror. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a big whooping fail.
Okay. You are not making any progress. Make a constitution roll.
Oh, this is not good. That is also not good. I need other dice, obviously. They're all rolling really high.
Yeah, but you're not taking any damage. You are basically moving, and that's keeping you warm, so you can make a swim roll.
Yeah, she will definitely try. I should have put points in swim. I'm
not sure if a New York lady at that time was actually swimming.
No, I'm too far away from the 20 I have to get. No way, she's not swimming.
Okay, constitution roll.
Yeah, a 3. So for constitution, I'm totally fine. I'm just failing on moving. She will, quite frustrated. She's basically stuck where she is at the moment. So she's not really moving forward. So she's not really making progress.
Hey, you can try and swim again.
It will be a last try to swim. If this is not working, she will tug at the rope to signal that she should be pulled back, or she will try to pull herself back in. And no, again on the swimming. I'm always rolling between 70 and 80 at the moment for swimming. Not a failure, not like a crit failure, but not good.
You suddenly see something in front of you.
Okay.
You see Dottie. She's swimming towards you.
Oh god, she will be just like, okay, focusing, and she will try to scream. I'm not sure if this is helpful or make it even worse, but she will try to scream and move a bit forward to it.
You can actually, I mean, this is, she has 20%. She rolled a 4. That's a crit. That's
My
a critical hit. So
girl!
she's swimming towards you.
My girl!
Interestingly enough, you're opening your mouth and you do what you normally do when you shout, but nothing seems to be coming out. It's all kind of like, you can hear yourself just very, very far away, and it's drowned. It drowns in whatever miasma you're moving in. And she sees you, and this obviously gives her some kind of boost, and she swims towards you really quickly. No, she doesn't. Let's see. Yeah, she doesn't take any damage, but you have to make a constitution save. A constitution roll.
I hate this game. That's a 15, so constitution is again
That's
fine.
Okay. So she's again... she's not making as much headway as she was before.
Yeah.
Will you try and swim towards her?
I will try to swim towards her, just to make it easier for her. And see how this goes. I will spend luck because I rolled a 22. I will roll
And she
2
rolled a
luck.
9. So when you spend the luck,
Yeah, I
the
will
two
spend the
of you
luck.
actually meet in the middle, and she stretches out both hands towards you and makes a grabbing motion, and she reaches forward and she clasps her hand around your wrist.
I will try to pull her closer that she can basically grab me, not just a hand. I will motion her to, or try to... If it's like water, it should be quite easy to pull someone closer as soon as you have it.
Once you've got a hold of her, you can actually pull her towards you.
And I would basically give her the motion that she should just give me a tight hug, basically. And then
Holding onto you, and she's also making paddling motions with her legs. So to kind of like propel yourselves towards where you basically came from.
Okay, and at the same time, Alice would tug the rope basically a few times. Hopefully that the signal comes in, and then she would also try to get towards exit.
He's gonna try and drag. So basically, you can feel a tugging motion. So he's obviously realized what's going on, and he's trying to get you.
Okay.
I need to do math in my head in English. That's never good. 13 mal 55. He makes it. You get pulled away from, or well, rather towards where you came from. When you look over your shoulder, the thing is you don't see anything. You just see the rope, or the rope that you put together.
Vanishing into nothing.
It ends nowhere.
Yeah.
31. She's gonna spend luck. Where's her luck? Yeah, so that's 21. 60, 50. And she propels herself forward as you are being pulled, and make another con roll. Oops.
Yep.
Okay. And you two spill out of the mirror onto the floor. She falls right on top of you because obviously she's behind you.
Totally
and you can see that she is frosted over. She is shivering. She has blue lips, but she's alive and she's breathing.
That is, first of all, most important. I will just give her a hug before...
You can now actually roll a d4 for me, please.
Okay. That is a 2.
Okay, you regain 2 sanity.
Oh! I will gladly take that. I will definitely give her a tight hug and then just crawl or basically carefully help her to sit up, and we're just like, I will get you something warm. Don't move. Thank you, Sergeant. Just a second. Don't touch the mirror. No one. And she would probably run towards breakfast kitchen den just to see if she can find anything that she can wrap Dottie in. Like maybe the other half of the drape, if there's still a half drape left over, or a blanket or anything like that.
Yeah, there is. You find something. That's not a problem at all.
And then she would just run back and just make sure that Dottie is warming up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what the sergeant is
The
doing.
sergeant is actually, you can see him furtively handing her a little metal bottle, which he's putting to her lips and taking a deep swig out of. She's really getting used to this drinking thing.
Oh God, we need to get her off of that in the future, but she deserves, definitely, and it should
But she
warm
actually
up.
just takes one sip and then she's like, it's this motion, so she's obviously whatever enjoyment she got out of imbibing alcohol the previous day has gone
This is
completely.
not tasting.
She hands it back and she is getting a little bit of, you know how it is,
Yeah, a
suddenly
little
the
bit of
color comes
flush.
back, but it's like fake color. And she looks at you and she says, that face.
What
She
face?
just came out of the mirror as I was looking at myself, and she's making this motion of basically like putting herself in order. I was just looking at myself and straightening my dress, and she just walked right out of the mirror and grabbed me and threw me through. She threw me through the mirror into this thing, into this. What is it? What is that place?
I don't know, Sergeant. We shouldn't be too close to the mirror. Maybe should we just turn the mirror around for a sec? Is the
Well, you
mirror on
can't,
the
it's
wall?
actually attached to the wall.
Okay, it's a wall
Yeah.
mirror. I am very tempted to. Should we just hang something over the mirror for a second?
You have the drapes, the cheese. Well, you could get something from the four-poster bed. I don't think people care about the four-poster.
Yeah, honestly, and she at the moment doesn't care about if it's bloody or not, so she would just take something and just hang it carefully over the mirror. Careful not to touch the surface, just the rim.
Yeah.
And how did she look, Dottie?
She was wearing black. And she looked ancient. And she looked
Ancient, like very old with very many wrinkles, or
Yes,
like
very
from
many
another?
wrinkles, very old.
Okay.
And she just looked so absolutely. Well, she'll have to make a sanity roll. Oh, 28, yeah, she passes, so she only loses 1d6. Oh my god, she lost 6 sanity points.
Oh no.
We'll get into that later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She looked like that face. I mean, she just. So let's see what happens to her. She draws a card from the deck. You must not read from the card. And she's got a hysterical fit. Let's roll a d4. And she starts laughing like there is no tomorrow. Tears start streaming down her face. She is not making any sense whatsoever. She's in complete hysterics. She's curled up on the floor, holding her belly. You have never seen her laugh this hard.
Okay. We should just give her some time to breathe, Sergeant. I guess this was a bit much for her.
Well, to be quite honest, she was inside that mirror for God knows how long.
Well,
She says she was dragged into it by a woman who looked like whatever she looked like. We will maybe find out sometime in the future. So I'm not surprised that she's hysterical. I would be hysterical.
The question is if we can like throw anything heavy in there with a rope. I'm still afraid that Clark is in there somewhere.
Clark?
Well, he went missing before Dottie went missing, so I would guess he was pulled into the mirror before. He was alone in the bedroom. You don't throw Dottie easily into something. And if Clark was surprised, I'm quite sure someone could pull him inside, because he wasn't thinking about that something would come out of that.
Well, I am pretty sure that he could have been pulled in by whatever entity is behind there, because I'm pretty sure it's not a normal person. So you know, we don't know how strong they are. Yeah, for all I know, he was drawn into this, but who is that woman?
I have no idea. It doesn't sound like the lady that died here. That must be something much older.
Yeah, the lady that died here, you know nothing about her, except that she's Russian.
And we know that she was killed with a razor blade here.
Yeah, with a straight razor in this very room.
Yeah.
Well, she killed herself with a straight razor in this
Killed herself, so we don't know if it's like that because Arthur killed himself, as we know he didn't. Well, I guess honestly that lady that pulled... why am I saying lady? That thing that pulled Dottie in probably also is the one swinging the razor blade murdering people. Because it would totally explain why we just have a shadow in front of the mirror and no things going in and out.
You suddenly hear a gunshot. And you hear a second gunshot straight after.
From where does the gunshot
sergeant
come?
Takes out his gun again, and it comes from outside of the master bedroom. And you hear a third gunshot.
Sergeant, did you bring another officer we didn't notice?
No, I didn't. You stay here, and he runs out.
Be careful.
And you hear him shout. You hear him scream, more like. He doesn't pass his sanity roll, unfortunately.
Disgrace.
Well, he only loses 3 points.
At least that. Alice will at least look out of the bedroom door. She will stay in the bedroom, but she will look out of the bedroom door.
And you can see him kneeling next to a body, the body of a man. And he's like, I don't know who this is, but he's just shot himself in the face. And there's a woman over there, and he seems to have shot her now as well. Do you know these people? Do they work for the real estate agents?
No. Are they really real? You can touch them?
Yeah, I can touch them. And as he's saying this, he's putting a hand on the man, and you can see that he's definitely touching the body, because you know it's like resting on the body, his hand.
Yeah, because the others seem to be like...
And you suddenly also see how his hand is going deeper and deeper, and suddenly the body just dissipates. Make a sanity check.
By now she should be used to this, because she was honestly expecting them to disappear because the others disappeared.
Who cares?
My sanity cares, because that was a whooping 2. I am totally fine.
You are absolutely chill. He rolled a 97. He's not cool with this.
Goodness grace. I think Alice, for now, it seems to make sense in a really weird way, because it's the pattern that we see over and over happening. The only thing is how many people died in this freaking house is just currently her like, oh my goodness, this house needs to be burned down, not sold again. Sergeant, maybe you just come here and just sit down for a second and maybe take a sip of the flask. I think you could use it yourself.
You suddenly see how he gets up. Turns towards you with his gun trained at you, and he says, nobody's going anywhere. And especially not you. I don't like it when people come here and sniff around in my stuff. I don't like it when people pry. I don't like it when people open the doors and look behind mirrors and look at the paintings and remove stuff. Removing stuff from my house. That's just not on.
Alice will just basically hold up one hand. Just like, we were just worried about Arthur, who died in here. His fiancée wanted
Arthur?
to know what happened.
Is that his name? Well, he came. He looked.
Yes, it sadly was his job to make an inventory of the house. He was paid for it, yes.
Nobody takes stuff from my house. The last person you tried? Well, she's dead now. And the person before her. And the family before her.
Yeah, we've seen
the man before them.
Quite a lot of dead around
and
here.
And the family before that.
You made a clear point that this is your house.
I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. And he basically cocks the gun.
She will take a last word, but she will be on guard to basically try to get out of the way. We are not here to take anything. The only thing I want to take is my friend and the sergeant. We don't belong to the house. We just want to go, and we will make sure that no one enters the house again to take stuff from you. I promise.
But it's so much nicer when I have company.
Does that company help you?
It's lovely to have someone to chat to behind the mirrors. They're all there. Turn around.
We could chat just here in the room as we do now. It's also quite nice. A bit warmer.
That's not the same. They've been here for almost 60 years.
60.
It's just not the same. Turn around. Look
Alice?
around.
Alice would...
And you hear Dottie behind you. And she says, madam?
Yeah, I guess what is happening. Alice will try to...
Arthur is standing in the mirror.
Great.
I'm pretty sure it's him.
Alice will, first of all, try to, with a bang, to close the bedroom door.
Okay.
Because she's standing in the doorway, basically.
Make a dexterity check.
Stepping a step back and just shutting the door. That looks good. That is an... Oh, that's a hard success.
Okay, you manage to close the door. You hear a shot. The shot penetrates the door because he's actually got a big caliber weapon, but it basically goes wild and nothing happens.
But it's still a real gun because it's a real guy possessed by a ghost.
Sergeant, yes.
And then Alice would look around for something to swing at a mirror.
Okay, you hear steps coming towards the door. What do you do?
I guess there's no key in the door. That would be too easy,
Make
right?
a luck roll.
Let's see. Because first of all, she would look if she can just lock the door, because most houses have keys in the doors, and that's an 18!
There is a key and it's in the lock.
She will lock the door, at least to make it more difficult to get in. And she will pull out the key. She will not leave the key in the lock. She will close the door and put the key in her pocket.
Okay, Dottie is keeping her composure.
That is good.
She's like, what's going on? Why is he shooting at us? And what happened to his voice?
He is... The lady seems to be... We talk later. Dottie, dear, do you want to open the window that is on the other side of the bed, far away from the mirror, please?
Mm-hmm. Okay. She opens the window, but the window actually won't budge.
Freaking ghosts.
You hear that someone is trying the lock on the door. Oh,
Alice...
Don't be that way, Alice. You know that it's just a matter of seconds for me to take my gun, shoot at the lock, and open the door. Don't be that way. Come on.
I dearly hope the sergeant is strong enough to gain his own conscience back against an evil woman like you, and she will grab the camera and try to smack the mirror.
Okay, make a strength
And she doesn't care if there's an Arthur there or not. Her goal is to...
Well, you can see, I mean, when you now look
destroy
in
the mirror.
I mean, because the whole room is full of mirrors, you see so many people. You see children, you see a man and a woman. The woman has been shot through the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And he has no face. Basically, that's probably the person who shot himself in the face. So you see a small child, a boy, maybe 8 years old. He looks very drowned. I mean, he looks like,
Okay, bathtub kid.
Yeah, there is a man that, well, it looks like a man that's been, put on a grill and broiled very thoroughly. Maybe in a gas explosion or something. You see, you don't count, but you see about 30 people in the mirrors.
Then she would.
And you see Arthur. He's basically standing right at the front, and then you suddenly see somebody sidle in, and it's the photographer.
Oh goodness! So he's dead. Probably, very probably.
Alice.
As I said, Alice will swing at the mirror and probably yell at Dottie, grab the phone, because it should be still in the room, and use it to smack any mirror that you can see.
Okay, so give me a strength check.
That is a 19. That is a hard success.
Okay, so now I need to do some math in my head. Sorry.
Alice is angry and desperate now, which is the worst combination that she could have.
60. So you had a hard success.
Mm-hmm.
The first mirror bursts.
Good.
There are shards flying everywhere. You take 4 points of damage.
I don't care.
But it's burst. And you can hear, Alice, I told you not to touch my things. And of course that includes smashing my mirrors. What are you thinking? And you hear a bang as the gun goes off. So now let's see what Dottie's doing.
Come on, girl.
34 strength. That's still a success.
Good.
She smashes the phone against one of the mirrors, but the phone breaks and the mirror holds fast. The door opens slowly. What do you do? Alice, I'm coming.
Alice
and the
will...
door opens and you see the sergeant standing there with his gun pointed at you, and he
she will try to dodge. Don't say you crit it.
I rolled a 1. Oh my god, I rolled a 1.
Goodbye, Alice.
Oh my god, I rolled a 1. Oh god, I rolled a 1.
That is a perfect shot.
That is... Oh my word, I think this is actually...
And I'm quite sure there's no way she can jump away out of a 1, except I would roll a 1 for dexing.
Try and roll a 1.
I highly doubt that.
The weapon damage is when you crit.
I highly doubt that she will. Oh my goodness.
You see, I always crit when I either attack people from my own party because I'm under the influence of some evil. Oh god.
I rolled a 98.
Okay, that's almost a critical failure.
Almost a critical failure.
Oh my god.
She doesn't have that much hit points, so I'm quite sure.
Not all is lost.
If the sergeant is not coming to his senses, we definitely have a problem. Or if Dottie magically has an idea how to at least save herself. I can do the next games as Dottie. She's stepping in the footsteps.
Here's what we prepared earlier. She is quite strong. 100. Let's see, combat. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yes. Max damage bonus plus roll weapon. No, max damage plus damage bonus plus roll weapon damage. Oh my god. What is that thing he's using? Firearms.
It's at least, I guess, a D6, probably, at least. A normal cold is...
I like the fact that there's like a flow chart and one hand points towards a gravestone. I like where this is going.
The cold that Alice has, I didn't think about, because she has a weapon, just to be honest. She hasn't pulled it yet, because she's insane and stupid. I have a cold, and
What is its max damage, please?
The damage written down is a D10, 1d10 plus 2, and you have no max damage on there. You just have a maximum
2, that's 12.
1d10, then it's 12. Then she's definitely...
And I rolled a 10 as well, so
Yeah,
I did 24 points of damage.
The game is over because she had 8 hit points left. If she would have been at full health, she would have had 1 point left.
Why are you not at full health?
Because I took damage from the mirror.
Yeah, but when you fell out, that actually went away.
No, the moment I smashed the mirror, I took damage.
Okay, we will. No, I mean, sorry, this is just not working. No, we're not killing off Alice Baker in this fashion.
That is your decision. Cthulhu is Cthulhu. You either go insane or you die.
But you have a weapon.
I have a weapon in my pouch, and Dottie knows I have a weapon in my pouch because I always have it there, and Dottie knows that because she's seen me taking it out, cleaning it, and putting it back.
Let's see how Dottie is doing.
And honestly, I think the pouch probably lays on the bed because Alice would have just put it there.
She has managed her... This is why I don't like Call of Cthulhu, because it leaves you no options from a storytelling perspective when you crit.
No, it's really hard
and
to
I critted with a 1. I mean, I never roll a 1, you know.
A 1
she has kept her composure.
That is something.
But I think she's getting pissed off.
I hope so. She can be very strong and angry, so I wouldn't want to mess with her.
She grabs the camera.
Yep. Please don't kill the sergeant, that will be messy as hell.
She swings, the swing goes wide.
Mm-hmm.
She throws it, she gets 2 actions.
Okay.
And she does throw it, but it goes wide as well. And then he shoots at a 57.
He should still...
That depends on his value. No, indeed, he only has 50. The shot goes wide.
Good. Go, Dottie, go!
Well, Dorothy, it would be so much less messy if you just gave up. Look at Alice. She's dead. She's not coming back. Let's see how this is working. It's not working on Dottie.
She's too angry, I think, by now.
She bull rushes her. Him
with her, yeah. Them.
And she basically slams into him. And she falls down.
Dottie!
And she is standing there.
We just need the sergeant back. We only need to get her out of the sergeant.
This is why I chose this existence. Your bodies are so easily destroyed. And she trains her gun on Dottie. Well, I keep saying she because it's obviously...
the sergeant wouldn't, yeah.
So, let's see. Because this is now losing its abilities. Where's this power? 80. Okay. These dice hate me!
What happened?
It didn't work.
Should I roll?
58. Again, the shot goes wide.
At least that.
Dottie uses all her strength. Nothing happens.
Should I roll for Dottie? You keep rolling for the Tarn Ghost.
Yes! Wish me luck. He rolled a 7 on his POW, and she rolled an 89.
Come on. What was it? Ronald? Ronald?
I hate when that happens. And his hand falls to his side, and he drops the weapon. He falls to his knees. He shakes his head and he says, "What just happened? What's going on? What? Oh my God, Miss Baker!" And he kneels next to you.
Please let him have some kind of first aid.
Now I can finally make an Erste Hilfe, so first aid roll.
Because Alice has no first aid. Oh, no, she has just a base first aid.
Well, Dottie does.
That is good.
Oh no, she can use luck.
She can use luck.
She can use luck on this one.
She has luck.
And she can use it in this case because you can't use it on
attacks, right? I think for attacks you can't use it, but you can roll it on ability checks.
You can use it when you're. This is a skill roll.
Yeah.
So she's going to use. I'm having so much fun. She's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. She uses 9 points of luck, which is, nowhere near anything.
Bless her heart.
And she gives you 4 points plus. Oh, it automatically just heals 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't have medicine, does she? No. We need to get her out of here. And he picks you up and he just says, "Follow me to the car." And Dottie just runs after him. And he says, Go ahead and open the door to the car." And the door opens.
Oi.
And
we were unnerving enough for her.
Dottie regains 1 sanity point for saving you.
She deserves that for what she just handled on her own.
People are either going to hate or to love this installment of Alice Baker, because this is just terrible.
There will be people that hate that we didn't let Alice die immediately, as Cthulhu is mean and evil, but I love that we found a way to switch it around without making up total nonsense.
How many hit points have you lost in total? 24. So how many did you have?
I had 13 and I lost, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost 4 to the mirror and the rest to the gun. Okay, so you're at minus. So we are going to give you a penalty later on something. So you will suffer a lasting effect from this because you were shot. Like, this is serious. I mean... Yeah, obviously.
So he puts you into the car. He drives to insert name of very important, famous New York City hospital, where a very experienced doctor rolls a medicine roll.
Come on, doctor.
He rolls a 90.
Obviously not a very professional good.
He uses 30 luck. I mean, okay, these dice are just like serious.
You can use them for the ghost. I'm totally fine with that. But, well, not if it rolls 1.
But you get 4. Oh, sorry, 1d3. Yeah, you get 3 points back.
Okay, so I should be at 4 now, right? I got 1 to be stabilized by Dottie, and then now, okay.
Okay, you have to stay in bed now.
Yeah, I guess I am hospitalized.
You're hospitalized. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little break because I need to recover.
Yes, please. Oh my goodness.
My word.
ghost is the biggest douchebag on
Oh,
Earth.
yes, well, that's yeah, that is kind of...
That was I was looking for a nice word, not for the worst.
No, there is no nice word for this. This is unbelievable. Okay, now the big question is, I would like to be able to do stuff, and I can't. Oh, so okay. Okay, and here we are back. Alice is lying in bed in a hospital in New York City, and you're kind of drifting into consciousness. And it's kind of like, you know, when you begin to hear noises in the distance and they're slowly coming towards you, and you open your eyes and you can see a very bright light, and you know you can't really see anything to begin with because it's so bright. And you realize that the noises that you've been hearing is someone, a male voice, calling your name. Miss Baker? Miss Baker, can you hear me? And you see a shape come into focus, but it's really just a shape. It's the shape of a person leaning over you.
She will probably, even if it's a male voice, just whisper, Dottie?
Not quite. She's outside, but Miss Williams is here as well.
Does my brain recognize the voice?
No, you've never heard this voice.
Okay. She will just try to focus and just fight against this dizziness and trying to really get back.
You have been in the OT for the last 6 hours. We were able to save your leg, but I'm afraid that there is some nerve damage, so you will probably never be able to fully use it again. But we don't need to amputate, and you will still have full feeling, although your knee will probably never bend very well again, I'm afraid.
She will just let this sink in. Her brain just wandering through, okay, dancing will be quite difficult, but we will figure something out, and, well, driving might be what, we need to train Dottie then to drive. And she's turning quickly into turning this into practicality, but she will still try to focus and try to get clearer vision, but she will not move, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do get clear vision, and you see a man, he's maybe in his 50s, clean shaven, wearing doctor's garb, and he says, I'm Dr. Johnston, and this is the orthopedic ward you're in. You need to stay in here for at least 2 weeks, and after that I really need you to look after yourself and not climb any stairs, and I will see to it that you get a nice cane or something similar, because you will need a walking aid at least in the first year or so.
Dottie can organize something, don't worry.
Well, maybe I will just ask Miss Williams to step inside and the two of you can talk.
Thank you, Doctor.
And he steps outside and he says, a good day to you, and I will see you tomorrow. And if you need anything, please just let one of the nurses know. Nurse O'Malley is the ward sister during the day, and she is on duty now. And he steps outside, and in comes Dottie, and she's like, Ma'am, how are you doing? Seriously, me and the sergeant, we were outside all they wouldn't let us in, and then they took you to OT and we didn't know what was going on. So how are you?
Slowly and not so loud, Dottie.
Okay, so she's talking to you now how people who have a hearing disability really hate it when you're talking to them. So, how are you? What is wrong?
Stop yelling. My ears are not hurt. Well, they are now. First of all, it means you and the sergeant are okay.
Yes. Well, I did slap him, but I don't think that really did anything to him.
Did you slap him while that monster was inside him or afterwards?
Afterwards, while the monster was inside him, for some reason I couldn't. I did everything I could. I threw the camera at him. I missed. After I'd swung at him, I missed. I tried to tackle him like the rugby players do. I just slammed right into him and then I slid down as if I'd hit a rock wall.
But he snapped out of it. She will probably just like make the motion like to get Dottie's hand. Just
and she holds out her hand and she grabs your hand.
She will just hold it and be just like, you are so brave fighting against this.
What could I do? I mean, he was holding he had shot you. You should have seen it. He just basically bam.
I saw his face before everything went black. Poor Sergeant. I hope he doesn't remember.
I don't know what he remembers. I'm not sure. I mean, he said, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then he picked you up and we drove you here.
Thank goodness he got out of it, but thank goodness even more that you fought against that thing. And even more, thank God that you found your way back to me in that mirror.
Yeah, what was that place?
I have no idea.
And did you see the faces? And what was this what was he talking about, that, or she, or whatever, that they're all there with her? Does that mean that Arthur Donnelly is in there? He's in the house?
I honestly don't know how ghosts work. But they see.
So that's what this was. It's a ghost.
Just in theory. I'm still not sure what is reality of that, but for me, if it would be a book, just being it's a fictional book, it would read like she is trapping the essence, souls, whatever, of the people that are dying in the house.
But why?
To keep her company, as it seemed so.
But that's
She
evil.
liked the company.
I know. We need an exorcism.
Maybe.
How do I explain this to Father O'Hurley?
No, not yet. So, as I said, theory, fictional book, that old woman definitely behaves like a ghost in books. It can possess, it can appear, disappear, do things. So it must be a strong ghost based on books. And I've seen Arthur, and honestly, we heard Arthur. He called not only me, but also Sarah. What's Sarah her name?
Yeah, his fiance.
Yeah, the fiance was Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah Whitman.
So it seems that he could somehow get through the phone to contact. Maybe he wasn't even aware that he basically lost his body. They all are trapped there with her. And she wants more company.
Well, yeah, she dragged us in.
I'm still weirded out. Why could we both go through the mirror and the sergeant couldn't? He touched the mirror. It was just a mirror. for him.
I don't know. Maybe she was looking for a woman?
Also, she could possess him, and she didn't possess us. We need to find out what happened. She is linked to the house.
Well, I mean, it sounded like she owns the house. I mean, she was talking about...
She originally, I guess she owned the house, and she was talking about like at least 60 years, if I got it right.
But that was last century. I mean, okay, we established that the house is close to 100 years old, but...
We need to find out who originally bought that house. Since then, a lot of people have died in there. I've seen a drowned boy.
You saw a drowned boy?
We've seen the person that shot himself, that the sergeant saw before he turned insane. Someone probably died of a gas leak, I would guess, with the gas I was smelling, and the invisible person lying on the floor that I, as well as the sergeant, stumbled over.
But I mean, that's... I mean,
someone
okay.
burned in there alive, as
One
it seems.
person killing themselves, another person... A child drowning in a bathtub is a tragedy, but it can happen. But that house sounds like a death trap.
It definitely sounds, because not only Arthur, but the lady before, or that belonged to the house, died the same way as Arthur.
Yeah, but...
She is taking people.
The two of them were... I mean, at this stage, I believe that probably because that woman came out of that mirror and dragged me in. What if she stepped out of that mirror and just killed the two of them?
I'm quite sure she did, because this would also explain why there still was a shape. Because she was standing there, that's why the blood spatter did not go through her, it went around her, but she just stepped back through the mirror. That's why there were no traces.
You do know what this means, though. They will never go to heaven. If their souls are trapped in there, and on the last judgment day, they are lost.
We need to make a plan. Guess I'm stuck here for a bit. I think the doctor said something about two weeks in here. And then I need to be careful, whatever that means, we'll figure it out. We need to make a few things. First of all, Dottie, I need you to arrange a walking cane for me.
Walk, and she looks down and she says, "So it's your leg, is it?"
It is. They at least could save the leg, that it's still there and kind of working, but he told me that I will probably never be fully back again. But I can walk. The leg is there and I'm feeling in there. So he said something about they need to amputate.
But they don't think that now, do they?
No, they fixed it. So you picked the right hospital, as it seems.
I didn't pick it, it was the sergeant, so we might want to thank him later.
We definitely should thank him later, because in the end he helped you to get me out of there.
I guess I can forgive him for trying to kill you.
It wasn't him. I'm very sure. He would have never hurt you or me.
Yeah.
And
I
honestly,
wonder why she picked him.
Maybe you're trying to hit him and shoving him. Maybe that helped him to get out of this. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's like in the books. It's just like it's in the book. Also, I don't know about the exorcism part, but maybe your father has an idea how we can free these poor people in the mirror.
Well, I
like
can
Arthur,
talk to him.
Like Clark, if there's any way how. Because at least smashing the mirror did not make her happy, but I don't think it really changed the thing, because I think it's in the house. It's not.
Holy
in
Mother
there.
Church certainly doesn't approve of ghosts.
No, you should also be carefully talking about this, not that they think you're insane. And you need the exorcism because you clearly don't.
Oh, all right. So I will speak to the father. And I will get your walking cane.
But the walking cane, there are special versions out there that have like a tiny sword dagger thing in there.
You want one of those?
Yes.
Do you know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
One where you can put in a little bit of whiskey.
That's a nice option, but with what we just learned, maybe a weapon is a better choice.
I will. And I think I know exactly where I need to go for one of those.
I count on you. You know money is not the issue. Find a nice model. Maybe honestly
I'm
find...
going to talk to
get
Liz
two.
Tucker. You know, the auctioneer?
Yes.
The weird lady that
Yes.
basically has stuff from all over the world and she sells it and nobody really knows where she gets it from.
See what you can
Just
get.
give me 1 second.
Maybe if you find
No, there's
a...
something. Liz. Do you know what?
What?
Remember the manifest when we were reading the inventory in the dining room?
Yes.
And he listed everything that was in there, the mahogany table and all of the stuff, all of the valuable stuff.
Yes.
And he wrote beneath it, Elizabeth T ? What if he was thinking about selling stuff or he has sold stuff from the house to Liz?
That might be possible.
We'll have to talk to Liz.
Well, my dear, I guess maybe you will... Either we do it together or you talk to her when you look
Well, I
for
will
a
go
cane.
there first thing and I will get you a walking cane and it's going to be the best walking cane ever and it's going to have a saber in it. And then I will
Also,
ask her
if-
while I'm there if she knows anything about 1206 Spooner.
Yeah, just see if she got it. If she has anything, she should put it away carefully and not sell it. I think that would be the best thing, not to sell it to someone else, and I hope she didn't yet.
Yes, I will do that. Absolutely. Yes, she makes a note.
Also, if you find a cane that you can have some whiskey in, I will take that as society cane, just in case. Not urgently, we can just keep an eye open for it.
And she's, and then she gives you this look that she always gives you that means that she's going to make a joke. And she says, well, some of those society dues that you attend, you might want to bring a cane with a sword in it.
That small chuckle is very, very true. Also, my dear, I think probably it would be good if you could give Mr. Smythe, maybe not a call, but at least I think a visit would probably be better. Call him to see if you can get around and tell him everything that happened. As insane as it might sound.
Everything that happened, because I think he may think that I'm crazy.
He needs to know. If he's not sure, he should visit me in hospital and I will talk to him again. We need to make sure.
Sergeant? I would feel safer with the sergeant backing me up.
If the sergeant is willing, please do. If
Oh,
not,
he's on extended leave.
I can imagine why. Ask the sergeant if he wants to. If not, you can also ask Mr. Smythe if he's willing to visit me and we talk to him together. He needs to understand this house is dangerous.
He should
Can't
definitely
be
not
sold.
sell it for the time being, at least.
He should not sell it, and honestly, he also should not step foot inside there.
That's a good point. What if he gets dragged in?
So definitely give him a call and warn him that the house is dangerous and he should not step inside there or let anyone else in there. And yeah, we need to tell him what happened. As crazy as it sounds.
Well, I will. I will try my best to sound convincing.
Just be honest.
Yeah, well, I will be honest. I mean, this is so crazy. Nobody could make this stuff up. I mean, having said this, there is this man. His name is Robert E. Howard. He writes the craziest things.
He does.
He would come up with a story like this.
Yes, and it would be a bestseller, I think, but...
I mean, this is so crazy. Nobody could make this up, and especially when I have a police officer with me.
Yes,
It's not like we want to buy the house. You didn't want to buy the house, did you?
not after a second. It's pretty from the outside, I have to say, but from the inside there is so much work to do, and the neighborhood, oh my goodness gracious, no. Even if we could get rid of the ghost, no.
Good. Good.
I like our house. It's nice, our little...
No, I love our pad. It's great.
So,
Make a con roll.
okay. That's a 99.
You are getting very tired.
As she will probably then just yawn and will be just, I guess I need a bit more rest. Please take care of yourself and keep me posted.
Yes,
Get
yes,
whatever
madam,
you need, you know. Just
Yeah, well, I have everything I need, and I hope that everybody's treating you well in here. But and you really, I mean, they've back then they would have given you morphine, so you are ready to
yeah.
drop.
I'm probably even drifting out while she's still talking, I would imagine.
That is true. So she's basically, and then she's moving out, and you can't even hear the door close, and you're just completely, completely back in the arms of Morpheus, you know, the god of sleep. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bit of a jump. So she comes back the next day, and she says, "Well, no, in 2 days' time." She does come back the next day, and she gives you grapes as you do. And she says, I've got an appointment with Mr. Smythe this afternoon. I'm actually on my way to meet him now. And the sergeant is outside. I asked him to come in, but he said he couldn't face you. So you may have to patch up things later. And he's
Please
going...
tell him I want to see him shortly.
I will. And she steps outside, and you hear voices through the door, and then the door opens. And I mean, he isn't exactly a small man. So basically you see this huge head, as in basically he cranes his neck around the door, and he looks at you and he says, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. I shot you.
You did. That thing did. You carried me out of there and helped Dottie to save me.
I hear that you will never be able to fully walk again. I don't know how to make this up to you.
I can dance on one leg. I don't need to. Don't worry so much about that. It's just a leg. I still have my life, and I still have Dottie. And you are also still alive. This is the best outcome we could have after what happened in there. We could
what
all be
happened
dead.
in there? Dottie says that we will be going to Mr. Smythe, and she's going to tell him what happened. She also mentioned something about an exorcism.
Well, first of all, Smythe needs to know that the house is dangerous, obviously.
I agree. I agree. This house is dangerous. I don't know what is going on in there.
I don't know either, but Smythe needs to understand that he shouldn't step in there and no one else should step in there or sell it at the moment.
Or ever.
Or ever. Honestly, they should think about burning the house down, I guess. The other thing... We just talked about the thing as if it was, like, you know, fictional book about ghost stories. You read a lot about that stuff.
That wasn't fictional.
I know, but it's easier to process if you think it would be like a story in a book. Because then it weirdly makes sense, which is scary enough. Dottie wants to figure out if there's a way that we can save at least Arthur and Clark and the others that are stuck in that house. That is.
When you say save, what exactly do you mean? Because I don't want dead people walking around New York
I
City.
don't want dead people. They don't have bodies. You know that, right?
That is
Arthur's
true.
body is in the morgue. There is no
What
walking.
if they take people's bodies? Because whatever that thing was.
Well, she's evil. I don't think Arthur turned evil. I think he's just stuck in there. And to use Dottie's religious words, I guess his soul is stuck there, and it's just about letting
And
them
blesses
go
himself.
that they can go to heaven, because at the moment they obviously are stuck in between.
You think that's what's behind the mirror?
It seems I've
The in
seen
between?
Dottie and I seen a lot of people in these mirrors, and some of them, weirdly enough, match very well to the deaths that we've seen in the house. And I'm quite sure I've seen Arthur in the mirror before I smashed it. And I
How?
think I've seen Clark behind him,
So Clark is dead then?
if he didn't show up.
No.
He has not survived in that mirror. Dottie was frozen, and Clark has been in there then for... I'm quite sure he's dead.
He was a good man.
Arthur was also a good man.
They shouldn't have died this way.
They definitely shouldn't. So again, thank you for helping me to save Dottie out of that mirror, first of all. That was you, and you helped. I couldn't have done that without you, and I know you would have never shot Dottie or me. It was that ghost woman creature
Who is
ancient
that
thing.
woman anyway?
She talked about that she likes company. That's why she seems to collect people. And she's doing that. She talked about at least 60 years. So I suspect whoever initially got the house is the person we actually were talking to, or you were possessed. Sounds horrible, but taken over.
Maybe we need to investigate this house some more.
I think we definitely need to, but if we talk about at least 60 years or more, it explains how so many dead people were around there, because we've seen quite a few and probably just some of them.
All right.
I know it sounds horrible, just what helps
Let's
for me
just-
is just to go back as if it would be a story of a ghost story that we
settle
know.
on this one. I will just take this at face value, because what happened in, I saw Clark, I didn't see Clark disappear, but I saw you guys disappear through a solid mirror, because I touched that mirror. That mirror was solid.
That is still the
And
question.
I saw you
Why was
disappear,
it
not
solid
once,
for
but
you?
twice. And I saw you come out and Ms. Williams with you
Yes.
after she had, gone missing. So I will just take this at face value. I will not question this. We can talk about this later. Maybe we do need to talk religion at some point.
Just
Holy
as I
Mother
said.
Church certainly doesn't approve of ghosts. I'm pretty sure of that.
No one does, especially not how we, with or without church, not approved. As I said, it helps to just see it as if it would be a ghost story in a very good book, because then the puzzle pieces are easier to see.
Let's just hope that Mr. Smythe loves reading.
Let's hope so.
So what I will do is I will accompany Miss Williams to
That
talk to
would be
Mr. Smythe.
Very lovely to help it
And we
make
will try and
clear
convince him to
sound.
not go to the house, to
Yes.
lock it up, to keep it locked up, to let nobody view it. I think it's important that we make sure that he doesn't let anyone in to view the house, because
Yes.
I understand he's about to sell it, and he shouldn't be selling it now or ever. And then I think once you are better, we should sit down, because I understand, the ward sister is a friend of my wife's. She's been telling her that, I asked her, and she's been telling me that you are taking
Oh God, my friend. Oh God, the funeral.
What funeral?
Wasn't it a...
And she's been telling me that you have been taking quite a lot of, well, you've been given quite a lot of strong drugs, so maybe now is not the best time to make plans, but as soon as you are up and
Yes,
running.
we will be up and running. Could you just fetch Dottie for a second?
Absolutely, of course. And he goes back and she comes back in. Yes, madam.
I just forgot as well. You remember we had late evening with Matthew and Martha and
Yes, yes, we
Dolores
did.
and
Yes, we
so
did. It
on.
seems like ages ago, but yes, we did.
I talked to Matthew about going to the funeral reading of,
Oh,
remember?
yes, yes, of course, yes.
Could you give Matthew please a call and tell him that I can't make it?
Do you want me to tell him why
Tell
and where
him
you are, or do you just want me to excuse you?
just tell him I'm in the hospital, but I am fine and I will be back in a few days.
So essentially lie to him. All right, not a
Well,
problem, madam.
He deserves, well, you're not lying to him that I am in hospital and I will be out here in a few days.
Yes, indeed.
If
All
he
right, I will do so.
if he
Certainly,
wants to
madam.
know why, tell him that I will talk to him when I'm back on board.
I will do that tonight. I will give
Then
him.
you don't have to lie to him. You just don't tell him everything. That's easier than lying.
That is true.
So
And then she runs out because she really needs to get to that meeting with Mr. Smythe. So
good.
she comes back, she reports back the next day. So she has spoken to Matthew. She has told him that you are incapacitated at the moment and unfortunately in hospital, but you are doing fine and you will be in touch as soon as you're back, but you won't make the funeral. She also tells you that they did speak to Mr. Smythe. Mr. Smythe had a couple of shots. Especially when they came to the part where Arthur Donnelly is behind the mirror, which he only replied to, "We should better not tell Sarah this."
No.
And he said that he will contact the lawyer, the solicitor who's trying to sell the property, telling him that they have discovered an infestation of termites. So an exterminator needs to come. This is going to take a while. Then they need to look at the structural integrity of the building, yada, yada, yada. And basically he stopped in mid-sentence and says, "Leave it to me. I've done this before. Only with real termites, but it does happen. Old houses made of wood do suffer from termite infestations every so often. It can be done, it can be repaired, there is nothing wrong with the house, it's just going to take a while." And he promises, hand on heart, that he will not set foot in that building and that he will not let anyone view it and that he will lock away the keys and throw away the key to the safe where he locks the keys in. Only joking.
Just to be evil, he doesn't have the key. Alice still has the key.
Yeah, he has a second key. He does have a spare key.
Okay.
Yeah, so he will lock up the house and So okay. And then she comes back 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
And she has an oblong object wrapped in silk paper.
I could imagine, at least by now, Alice is sitting in bed again.
Yes,
and
you are sitting
feeling
there.
better.
Managed to eat stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know if you like porridge because that's what you're getting. Because that's what they have in the old country. The ward sister is of course Irish and
Better than dying, but Alice will not eat much porridge.
yeah, because it's the disgusting variety.
And it's breakfast. At least for Alice, it's breakfast, and she's
Yeah, but
not
you're
a breakfast person.
24/7, so there's always porridge to be had.
She's hoping.
And they cook it in water. They don't use milk.
Goodness grace. Alice is hoping for Dottie to come by and maybe bring her some more fruit.
So
or
Dottie does
anything.
come by, and she has an oblong thing wrapped in silk paper. I got this at Liz's. I knew she would have one.
You are
Well, she
in
had
danger
several.
for
I
getting
chose
it.
this one.
Let me see, let me see.
You open it.
Yes.
It is a
Very
walking
carefully, very delicately and carefully.
It's a walking cane made of dark wood. And she says, this is cedar wood. And it has a little point at the bottom. So it's not one of the ones that is kind of like flat. So it's kind of like a little bit of a point. And it's got a... So it's got a... the handle is like... it's not one of those handles, but it's like a round handle.
Okay.
It looks silvery. As you look at it, you can see that it's made of sterling silver. And she says, pull at it.
Alice will try to pull at it.
So the walking stick is about, I'd say probably 1 meter or so tall, so long, 1 meter long. And as you pull at it, you draw out a blade that's about 40 centimeters long. And it is very, very sharp. And she says, but it's also very thin, so it's more like a stabbing weapon.
Perfect.
And a slashing weapon rather than a sword.
How I
So
imagined.
you would probably not be able to parry much, but you know, the idea
but-
is to do it really quickly and to surprise someone with it.
Yeah. And either cut or stab is the
Yeah,
easiest.
exactly.
Probably.
And
Alice will just look at it and will carefully put the cane back together and be just like, this is a masterpiece. It's beautiful.
that's what Liz said. She called it a masterpiece. Also, she said I shouldn't inquire about its provenance, so maybe it's better if we don't.
As long as it's not coming from the freaking house, I'm totally fine.
Speaking of which, she does have stuff from the house, going back 60 years. Well, of course she didn't buy it herself, because back then she wasn't even alive. Her father did. And they've had it in storage ever since. He said there was something... He couldn't find a buyer. That's exactly how she phrased it. She said, verbatim, there is something about, I couldn't find a buyer. It's in storage.
They can sell everything. This is definitely off.
Especially if her father is anything like her. She will sell anything, and she can sell anything to anyone.
Yeah.
She's an
As long as they have
excellent
money.
businesswoman, and I doubt that her father was any worse. So if she says that he told her that he couldn't sell it, there is something majorly weird about it. And she just said she held on to it because she could tell. I mean, it's valuable stuff. But in a way, you know, she said she put it on display once, but people seemed to walk past it. People never got interested, even when she pointed it out. It was like people just didn't... It was too big, it was too small, it didn't fit the kitchen, it didn't fit the wall. It was never right, it seemed. And then she did wait for the one other person who was in the shop, the customer, to stop browsing and leave. She did mention that there was a piano. And one night, late at night, she could have sworn somebody was playing it, but she was alone. That's when she put everything back into storage. And it gets weirder. She tried to gift it. Nobody wanted it. She put it up for auction, nobody wanted it. She wanted to give it to charity. They didn't want it. It's almost like the stuff doesn't want to be sold. And isn't that what she said? She doesn't want stuff to be taken. What if she lives in the stuff as well? Can you imagine having a haunted piano?
Before all of this, I would have thought this quite fun, probably, a piano playing by its own, as long as the player is able to keep a tune. Now it wants me to burn the piano immediately.
Do you know what would be interesting? To see if one can burn it. If it manages to keep people from buying it, maybe it manages to keep people from burning it.
It's maybe worth a try. We should definitely talk to Liz and see if we can...
I've made an appointment. I told her that in about a week or so you will be out of here, and I've organized a wheelchair. So you'll be fine.
It's just a blink from Alice. She's not sitting in a wheelchair. Without a discussion, the idea is nice.
I mean, you are talking to Dottie Williams, who can be an Irish mammy if she wants to. So I think this is going to be a contested role.
It will be interesting, but Alice is clever enough to say nothing now. This
Yeah.
will be for showing her I can walk, so I don't need it way, because she knows with words she will not win against Dottie. She need to prove it. So, yeah. But she didn't buy a house currently from, like, Arthur. Liz did not. She just has the old stuff. Just.
Well, she hasn't heard from Arthur.
Okay,
She
that's good.
knows Smythe and Donnelly. But she hasn't heard, she said she hadn't heard from Arthur in 7 months.
Then it means she didn't buy current stuff from the house, at least. So
No,
we don't have
no,
to worry about
no, she
that.
hasn't.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Thank you for talking to Smythe. That was important. And thank goodness that he pulled himself together to organize
You know what?
something.
I don't think he's Catholic. Just saying.
Well, not all of us are, dear, you know that.
And that's what's wrong with the world.
Debatable, but I'm tempted to at least believe in the whole soul going to heaven thing that you're talking about. Because Arthur and the others obviously are not going to heaven at the moment. We still need to find out how we can free them.
Yes. I think, I mean, I will try and speak to Father O'Hurley. He's out of town at the moment, but he should be back Saturday. So I'm going to go to Mass late on Saturday, and I'm going to go to confession, and then I'm going to ask him.
Just, if you feel like it, if it's too much, we will find someone else who can tell us about ghosts.
Well, who could? I mean, he is the...
Didn't you know someone like the seventh sister of a seventh or seventh daughter of a seventh?
It's Sinead Murphy. She's the seventh daughter of a seventh daughter.
I will never remember.
Doesn't really work that way.
I will never remember this stuff. It still sounds weird to me. But did you say she is like also in this otherworldly stuff?
Well, she's a medium, and she's a very darn good one. I mean, if she tells you you're gonna get married within the year, you're going to get married within the year.
Maybe she also has an idea how to get rid of a ghost, or because I don't want to talk to that thing, to be honest. I'm really scared what happens if she takes over again a human body, but maybe she has an idea on...
Well, then maybe we should go and talk to her.
Maybe we should. It will
So
not
once
hurt.
you're better and out of here, we will talk to her.
It will not hurt.
Long now.
I'm doing my best to get better. The only thing, the food here is really horrible.
Oh,
So
what are they serving?
well, porridge, obviously.
Oh, but porridge is very good.
But
It's good for you.
not every day, all day, and just water.
It's probably to soothe the stomach.
Well, I don't have heartburn, I can say for sure. I could just use some fruit, some vitamins, you know? It really
I could make potatoes.
that's maybe just some apples or something like that.
I will talk to the ward sister to see what she has to say about this.
Don't. I already tried.
See, you should always listen to the ward sister.
Just make sure that when I get back home, we have some of that there at home.
Sorry, say again. When you're
When I get back home, make
when you
sure that we have some apples and some vegetables and fruits, maybe a piece of meat in the pantry. And I don't want to
I
see
will make sure
porridge.
that you will have everything you need.
I don't want to see porridge for the next years.
All right, then no porridge for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, please.
Okay, with this talk about porridge or no porridge, we will end today's session.
Oh, goodness grace.
I mean, this was okay. We did fudge a couple of rolls because it was important that nobody dies. But I think everyone will agree that it would be really terrible if we had to end all of this because the main character dies. I mean, after all, this is Call of Cthulhu and it is deadly. But then again, when you build a campaign around the main character, then the main character is kind of maybe not impervious to harm, but you know, we need to make a couple of allowances. And I never crit unless I attack somebody from my own party or a player character. So we hope you enjoyed this. There will be more. Obviously, we will be concluding this adventure at some point. I don't know how long or how many sessions this is going to take us because I'm having way too much fun.
Oh god, I am freaking out about thinking even to get close to the house again, but hey.
But that's how it should be. I mean, if this is really
It's definitely scary as Cthulhu should be.
yeah. And so this will go up on Patreon for our patrons as a podcast tomorrow. And then in about 3 weeks, you will see it as a YouTube video. And until then, we say bye. And do check in, do support us on Patreon, do click like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.